Well, one of my favorite doctors, Dr. John Campbell in England, says, "A warm welcome to today's talk. Today is the 3rd of March. Um, so what are we going to do today? Well, let's go over what I ate yesterday. I had Chicharron Duro. Um, it's really the pancetta. It's where they get the bacon from. But in Mexico, they confit it, which means they actually put it in lard and they stir it and they cook it and they salt it, and it's really delicious. So it's like unsmoked bacon, but it's not cured, it's actually cooked in lard. And then I made that with look, my family changed to keto this month, so I'm not going to stress them out. And when they make things, I'm going to eat what they make. Does that make sense? So I'm probably going to be mostly ketovore this month, just because. When your family decides to get off the standard garbage diet and says, you know what, let's go keto, I'll be like, okay, I'll do keto with you. It doesn't bother me. So this may not be total carnivore this month. So we made a salsa de molcajete, and it's garlic, onions, tomatoes, chilies, and cilantro and salt. But you make it in this molcajete. Literally, it's a volcanic rock with it's a volcanic pestle and mortar, and it's really good. And then my wife made nopales, which are cactus leaves, and then some pico de gallo, which is just tomato, onion, and chilies in its simplest form. And then I made an aguacate mole, which is super ripe avocados, and then you take 2 of those, those really crunchy jalapeno chilies that are in vinegar. Throw a couple of those in there, pour some vinegar in there, and you go ahead and mix cilantro and then salt and water till you get the consistency you want. And that's a sauce that goes over the chicharron and the pico de gallo. So essentially you have the pico de gallo, the chicharron, then you put the pico de gallo and the nopales over that, and then you put the sauce over that. And before all that, I had 6 eggs with chorizo. I layered it. And I cooked all that down in about 3 tablespoons of butter, so that's all I ate yesterday. And my weight this morning, 85.7 kilos, 188 pounds. And that means from yesterday that I wound up losing almost a kilo, and I went down 2 pounds. So that's kind of interesting. I've eaten all this food, and I ate a lot of food, and I ate till I was stuffed. Matter of fact, we got back from a walk, which I'll tell you about. We took about a 7-mile walk to a place where my wife had to get some fabric in order to make some clothes. And took us about 3 hours. With a stop, we talked with a friend and everything, so we were kind of booking. And kind of feeling it today. It feels really good, actually. So maybe that's where the weight loss happened. I don't know. I may gain some of that back. I may keep walking. I don't know. So it's kind of nice to know that, like, I'm 57, my wife's 54, and we can just get out and, walk across the city. So it's absolutely wonderful. So the topic today, why would you need carnivore, all right? Or in this case, ketovore, what I'm doing. But here's how you know you're sick. You're going to have 5 marks. I'll go from the easiest one that you can do at home, and then the ones that might be a little more expensive. But here's the first thing you should do. Grab a tape measure. Measure around your belly button, or the fattest part of your midsection, parallel to the deck, parallel to the floor. All right? And you get that number either in inches or centimeters, and then you divide it by your height. So it's waist measurement divided by height measurement. And according to Dr. Berry, if that number is larger than 0.55, you might look into checking some of these other markers. Personally, I'm anywhere between 0.51 and 5.2. I haven't fluctuated in almost 3 years. 0.51, 0.52. Depends. And I don't know what it depends on. Maybe just where the measuring tape went or whatever. But my waist is over the fattest part of me in my midsection is between 93 and 94, maybe 95 centimeters. And my waist actually reduced back to like 36 inches. That's actually where I hang my belt. And I hadn't done that since I was in boot camp, man. So that's pretty cool. The next thing that you can test, if you can find somebody with a cuff or, a blood pressure cuff, either the arm or the wrist, is measure your blood pressure. Now go to Dr. Barry's video on how to do that correctly and take a 2-week, a fortnight average. All right? Mine's about 100 over 55. It used to be over 140 and over 90. Over 140, over 90. So I think it was 145 over 95 or something. I was not in good shape. Huh? That's the second thing you can test. 2 of those, if you've already tested those, you don't need to get your blood drawn. You're Syndrome X, which means you're metabolically ill. And you probably need to go ahead and change some things around. The third thing you can do, the fourth and the fifth thing, are all related to blood tests. So fasting glucose, if that's over 100, you probably want to consider you're being Syndrome X. 80, I've heard in most places is optimum. Mine was 74, and according to my A1C, which is 3.82, my average daily glucose is around 60. Last test. I don't test anymore that much because I don't feel bad, and I frankly don't want to waste the money on a test. Triglycerides should be under 100, HDL should be over 50, and that ratio should be under 2. All right? So just to give you some numbers, mine are 88. For triglycerides, my HDL is 55. I divide those out, triglycerides over HDL, and I come up with 1.6, the golden number. How fun. But anything under 2, you're a rock star. If it's over 2, well, yeah, we gotta look into some things. That means your HDL is probably low and your trigs are probably pretty high. So those are the 5 signs: waist over height, blood pressure, glucose, and trigs over HDL, triglycerides over HDL. If you have any 3 of those ticked off, or the 5, uncongratulatory, wow, you have Syndrome X, you need to make a change. All right, so that's kind of how we do that. You guys have a great Sunday, and we'll see you on the next one. Be well.